attention, please. Your program is about to start. Everyone, please remain seated at all times. For beginning of today's production, The Tale of the Blue Rose, improvised and performed by Miss Majokko Meimi. And please, if you wish to throw anything, make sure it's roses. It's on theme. Majokko Meimi. Hello? Before we begin today's performance broadcast, we would like to give a shout out to the sponsors. Happy birthday, Miss Tokaku! From your friendly fortune dealing witch, Miss Majokko Meimi! Now, I will have to warn everybody that this production is very budget and is being produced on a high school teacher's salary. So, please hold your expectations and leave them at the front door. Thank you. Hello, everybody, and welcome to A Tale of the Blue Rose, a simple and underrated fairy tale that exists perhaps in online retellings more than it does in popular fiction, but nevertheless a tale I will be telling musically to all present today. Once upon a time, long ago, there lived a king. He had but one daughter. A beautiful princess who was his pride and joy, and together they lived out their days happily, knowing only peace and shelter within the palace walls. But as the king grew older, he began to fear that when he died, the princess would have no one left to care for her and no one to protect her. "My daughter, I shall find the most suitable man and marry you off. Then that man is to be your husband and would care for you for all your days to continue to give you the life that a princess deserves." "No, let me stay with you and care for you, father. I have no desire to marry and leave you." "I have made up my mind. I will not be around forever. And you who have only known peace and shelter must choose a man. Only then may I rest in peace when my reign is over." And no matter how much the princess begged, "Father, please," he would not relent. Still, despite the numerous amounts of young men that were summoned to court, all were turned away. Finally, the king made the princess compromise with one final declaration. "You must choose a man. However, I will allow you to name one qualification, one standard that the men must meet, whether it be wealth, looks, strength, intelligence, or ability. Whatever you like. You must choose a condition by tomorrow." Frustrated, the princess agreed. Here comes a wave meant to wash me away, a tide that is taking me under. Swallowing sand, left with nothing to say, my voice drowned out in the thunder. But I won't cry, and I won't start to crumble. Whenever they try to shut me or cut me down, I won't be silenced. You can't keep me quiet. Won't tremble when you try it. All I know is I won't go speechless. 'Cause I'll breathe when they try to suffocate me. Don't you underestimate me, 'cause I know that I won't go speechless. Written in stone, every rule, every word, centuries old and unbending. Stay in your place, better seen and not heard. But now that story is ending. 'Cause I cannot start to crumble. So come on and try to shut me and cut me down. I won't be silenced. You can't keep me quiet. Won't tremble when you try it. All I know is I won't go speechless, speechless. Let the storm end. Cannot be broken. No, I won't live unspoken. 'Cause I know that I won't go speechless. Try to lock me in this cage. I won't just lay me down and die. I will take these broken wings and watch me burn across the sky. Hear the echo saying I won't be silenced. Tremble when you try it. All I know is I won't go speechless, speechless. I'll breathe when they try to suffocate me. Don't you underestimate me, 'cause I know that I won't go speechless. All I know is I won't go speechless, speechless. Still, the frustrated princess had no choice but to answer her father's demands. After all, this was to be his dying wish. So that evening, she stalked into the royal garden, where she met up with her childhood friend, her trusted playmate, and only other man she knew who might guide her true, which was the gardener's son. which will also be played by me. Oh. What's the matter? Has the Majesty not given in on his demands? No, it's impossible to change his mind. Now he is setting a standard to judge them by, so that one must be able to pass. But what am I to say? No matter what I set, it is hopeless. If I say my husband must be fair of face, he may be handsome, but have a heart and soul. If I say he must be wealthy, he may be rich, but stingy in the ways of heart. What qualification should I make? Perhaps you should make it some sort of test. Difficult, but not impossible. Make it ambiguous enough, so that it will be up to you to determine whether the man qualifies. That's perfect. Then that's exactly what we must come up with. And far into the night, they discussed what that test should be. So that the next morning, the princess met with the father and had this to say. Father, I will marry the man who can bring me a blue rose. And as you can imagine, the line of suitors came to an abrupt halt, for none could find a blue rose. As a side note, apologies for I'm going to butcher this song. Ikuzo. Baya 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 ya baya. There used to be a great tower alone on the sea, and you became the light on the dark side of me. And love remained a drug that's the high and not the pill. Did you know that when it snows, my eyes become large and the light that you shine can be seen? There is so much a man can tell you, so much he can say. You remain my power, my pleasure, my pain. Baby, to me you're like a grown addiction that I can't deny. Won't you tell me, is that healthy, babe? Did you know that when it snows, my eyes become large and the light that you shine can be seen? Baby, I compare you to a kiss from a rose on the grave. Ooh, the more I get of you, the stranger it feels, yeah. And now that your rose is in bloom, a light hits So much a man can tell you, so much he can say. You remain my power, my pleasure, my pain. To me you're like a grown addiction that I can't deny. And won't you tell me, is that healthy, babe? Did you know that when it snows my eyes become large and the light that you shine can be seen? Baby, I compare you to a kiss from a rose on the parade. Ooh, the more I get of you, the stranger it feels, yeah. And now that your rose is in bloom, the light hits the gloom on the parade. Yes, I compare you to a kiss from the rose on the parade. Ooh, the more I get of you, the stranger it feels, yeah. And now that your rose is in bloom, the light hits the gloom on the parade. Ya-da-da-da-da-da-da. Now that your rose is in bloom, the light hits the gloom on the gray. Now, several months passed after this test was announced before the first man dared to approach the princess. It was a merchant, flush with, well, wealth from trading his wares, that fancied marrying the princess. After all, the added wealth of the king's ransom would make him the richest man in the whole of the kingdom. I shall not waste any of my precious time looking for a blue rose. That's what money is for. If this princess wants the impossible, then there is nothing a stack of gold coins cannot buy, and I shall find a flower vendor at once. You there, if you can acquire a blue rose, this bag of gold is yours. The vendor took a strong blue dye and added it to a vase with a white rose. Soon the petals of the rose turned pale blue. Keep the rose in the vase until you are ready to present it to the princess, or it may wither and die. The merchant brought the rose to the princess, but when she reached out to take it, a drop of blue dye puddled in her hand. She looked not only at the blue rose, but the bluish-green leaves, and then into the eyes of the merchant, who could no longer meet her gaze. You have tried to deceive me. What you have given me is false. I would have a husband that is true. I cannot marry you. And so the rich man left in shame. Several more weeks passed before a handsome young warrior decided he wanted the hand of the beautiful princess. After all, only the loveliest of ladies would look the perfect adornment on his arm when he came home from war. He was strong and powerful, no one dared to stand against him. And since there were no blue roses to be had in this kingdom, he went to see the king of a neighboring kingdom and said, "Bring me a blue rose, or I will kill you and half of the people in your village." The king, who valued peace and his people, called for an artisan, and what the warrior ended up presenting was an exquisite rose carved from a blue sapphire. When he presented this to the princess, she looked into his eyes and could see they were as cold and hard as the rose made of stone. That is not a rose. A rose is soft and gentle to touch, not cold and hard. I cannot marry you. And so he too left and disgrace. Now finally, the youngest of the king's advisors also sought the hand of the princess. He was intelligent and ambitious, knowing that if he married the princess, he would be the most powerful man in the kingdom. So, he went to a wizard. Fashion me a blue rose that can fool all who look at it, including the princess. The wizard captured the essence of a blue rose in a hologram inside a glass box. And when he presented it to the princess, well, the court was astounded. It truly is magnificent. Surely the princess would recognize this as a blue rose. However, when she reached out to grab it, the image slipped through her fingers. This is not a blue rose, but merely smoke and mirrors. I will not marry someone who twists and turns things around to his advantage. I cannot marry you. Now, if 3 of the most powerful, wealthy, and intelligent men in the kingdom, using every resource available, could not convince the princess, was there a chance for any man at all? Later that night, the princess sat in the garden, once again with the gardener's son. It is no use. So far, none of them could bring me a blue rose. I must marry someone who is honest and true, as you have been. He cannot be hard and cruel, and he cannot be someone who only seeks to become king. I want him to value me for who I am, as you have. He looked at her and said, Princess, tomorrow I will bring you the blue rose. Please wait for me in the blue room, just before sundown. The next day, when the princess and the royal court met in the blue room as promised, it was then that the young man knelt before the princess, carrying what appeared to be a simple, plain white rose. And through the gossip and the murmurs, he simply presented it, and as the dying rays of sun lit upon the petals, the white rose turned blue. The princess reached out and put her hand on his, and she declared, My people, let me show you what I see. I see a young man who has always been honest and true. A man who has the courage to be patient and kind enough to wait until I knew what was in my heart. I see a man who values me for myself, and in his hand he holds the gift of love. It is a blue rose because I say it is a blue rose. We were first young when I first saw you. I closed my eyes and the flashback starts. I'm standing there on the balcony in summer air. See the lights, see the party, the ball gowns. See you make your way through the crowd and say hello. Little did I know that you were Romeo and you were throwing pebbles, and my daddy said stay away from Juliet, and I was crying on the staircase begging you please don't go. And princess. It's a love story, baby, just say yes. So I sneak out to the garden to see you. We keep quiet, cause we're dead if they knew. So close your eyes, escape this town for a little while. Cause you were Romeo, I was a scarlet letter. And my daddy said, stay away from Juliet. But you were everything to me, and I was begging you, please don't go. And I said, Romeo, take me somewhere we can be alone. I'll be waiting, all there's left to do is run. You'll be the prince and I'll be the princess. It's a love story, baby, just say yes. You'll save me, they're trying to tell me how to feel. This love is difficult, but it's real. Don't be afraid, we'll make it out of this mess. It's a love story, baby, just say yes. I got tired of waiting, wondering if you were ever coming around. My faith in you was fading when I met you on the outskirts of town. And I said, Romeo, save me, I've been feeling so alone. I keep waiting for you, but you never come. Is this in my head? I don't know what to think. He knelt to the ground and pulled out a ring and said, marry me, Juliet, you'll never have to be alone. I love you and that's all I really know. I talked to your dad, go pick out a white dress. It's a love story, baby, just say yes. Oh, oh. Oh, oh, oh. 'Cause we were both young when I first saw you. And need I tell you, dear audience, that the princess and gardener's son were married and that they lived happily ever after? Not because I said so, or that all good fairy tales say it should be so, but because the princess and the young man knew their happiness was in their own hands, and that each was responsible for making sure the other was happy. And that, in essence, is what it means to have a miracle of a blue rose come true. And now, I have one more song, but I'm not very good at this song. So bear with me. Hold me close and hold me fast. This magic spell you cast, this is lovey on rose. When you kiss me, heaven sighs, and though I close my eyes, I see lovey on rose. When you press me to your heart, I'm in a world apart, a world where roses bloom. And when you speak, angels sing from above. Everyday words seem to turn into love songs. Give your heart and soul to me, and life will always be lovey and
Majokko Meimi.